Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your weekly posture session with me, Jo Andrews. It's not just my head today, my whole body is here as well. You brought your bodies with you to work with and move and settle and balance in our session this morning. But I am down on the floor because our session today is based on the floor. But before you kind of get yourself down there, going to need a couple of bits of equipment. One is a chair, or I'm using a footstool here today. Could be a sofa, could be a dining room chair, could be a coffee table, and you might need a couple of cushions to make it just the right height once we get going. And you will need an extra cushion if you're using it to make your table or support higher to use as a bit of resistance when we get going. So a chair, a cushion, bit of time, and a little bit of floor space. So when we work together, just keep talking while you're gathering, you're squirreling around, getting your bits of equipment. When we work together in our posture work, we're looking at using surfaces or stimulus like a straight wall, a straight floor, lots of 90-degree angles, using like a block or a chair to help get those joints, the main loading joints, which are your shoulders, your hips, your knees and your ankles, into a good position, a good balanced position. And if we use those flat surfaces, we can kind of use that as a plumb line, if you like, to then start to move around and to recruit muscles that move and work, move your bones, and that hold your body in a good balanced state to work and hold you in the right way. And of course, we've got other joints that are really important in our body as well. But if, for example, your shoulders are misaligned, then that's going to affect the way your elbows operate, the way your wrists operate, your neck, your head position, and all of that then puts strain on the spine. So your body is this one lovely unit of potential movement and good movement. When we start out, we're little and it starts to move, and we start to learn how to move correctly. Then over time, we develop habits. Maybe we have a repetitive job. Maybe we've had an injury, or maybe we're just in age. We're not moving as much as we did when we were little. We're not swinging on monkey bars like we did when we were 5-6 years old. So it's important that we keep the body moving right, moving enough, stimulated enough, and in as balanced a way as we can. Thing that we need to think about when we're doing this work together is if you're bringing in some pain this morning, a niggle, an ache, something that's sore, then anything that we do together that makes it more sore, just stop and wait for the next exercise. Okay. Morning, everyone. Join in. Hey. Nice to have you joining me this morning. Brilliant. So yeah, we want to make sure that we're not taking you towards pain. You might feel aches, you might feel tingles, you might feel cramp, really common, absolutely fine. But if it's something that, your instinct thinks, that's making my shoulder, for example, worse, then that is not the exercise for you right now. Okay, we need to take that one out. But hopefully the movements that we do together will benefit all bodies. And if in doubt, you can always go back to this first one that we're going to start with today and rest there while we're moving. Because this first position, static back, in fact, now we've got our equipment together, let's go and get into it. Bring my cushion as well, have that handy to one side. This position, static back, is one that you would, if we lay here together for half an hour, let's pop our legs over that chair, dining room chair or support, leave your cushion to one side for the minute. If I lay here with my arms out to the side, palms up, bottom as close as I can, that's it, space between your knees and feet. If you stayed here for the whole of the session today, then I guarantee you that your body will be better positioned, will work better after the session, and this in itself would do so much to help relax, to ease, to rebalance the muscles that hold your spine, that then affect your hips, affect your shoulders back, etc., and that whole body unit that we have. So if you are, as we move through these various exercises this morning, if you're thinking, I'm not sure it's making whatever I've brought to the session worse, pop yourself back here and just listen along to the session as we go through it. Okay. So we're tucked up against this chair or your stool, whatever it is you're using, and let's just check that your knees aren't flopping out to the side. And if they are, that's where you need that extra height. Okay, extra height underneath your lower legs, your calf area. So that when you put your legs over, you feel, oh yeah, I'm being held now rather than having to hold myself in this position that Joe's told me to be in. Okay, so I'm feeling like just about on the edge of okay on this footstool this morning. So make sure that you take the time. We're going to be here for a few minutes, that you've got that extra height if you need it. I'm going to have a quick peek down and check that my knees are hip width apart, hip bone width. And that's really important because if I go hip width, the outside of my hips are probably much wider than the bony part of my hip bone. And that's the joint. That's where we want to be lined up with. Okay, so knees are hip bone width apart, and then that lower part of your leg is going to follow straight on in that straight line, knees to ankles. So I'm not going out and I have not got my feet together. Okay, so I've got that nice hip bone width space between my ankles as well. Brilliant. Arms now are out by your side. Palms of your hands are up towards the ceiling. And in having them up towards your ceiling there, you're making sure that your shoulders are melting back and down towards the ground and that your back has got the best chance of really equalizing and balancing and releasing and all the things it needs to do to feel connected with your hips and shoulders. That big chunk of body wants to feel really nice and safely positioned between your hips and your shoulders. Now take your bottom a bit closer to the chair if it's not all the way snug there already. And then I just want you to relax into this shape. Have your gaze looking up towards your ceiling, or even close your eyes if you feel comfortable. And take a nice deep breath here. So you're going to deep breathe, feel the belly button rise. And then as you breathe out, I'm just going to gently pull the belly button back. I'm not changing the position of my hips. I'm just having a little invigorate of those abdominals. So then when your breath is ready to come in again, you take a big deep breath. And it's like I'm trying to stretch the skin, the lungs and the diaphragm. And then as I breathe out, I'm having that little pull down, that little tense around the tummy, but I'm not moving my hips. So we're going to do that together, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Trying to move just the diaphragm, the lungs, feeling the belly move, but nothing else is moving around. Everything else is staying stationary. And again, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in deeply. Couple more like this, and just be mindful when you're doing them, keep going, that you're not overdoing it now. So I'm definitely an overdoer, so I'm thinking now, I'm giving these instructions, I'm really breathe out, but I could feel on my last one, I was just slightly moving my back away from the floor, so I don't want to do that. Keep all of that. That's my goal, to keep them really still as I take those deep breaths. Join you for that last one. And then let your body just spring back into its natural breathing pattern and relax. Take your head from side to side very gently again. So this is not a workout at all. It's a rebalancing and maintenance session. And what it would do and will do today is it will put you in the best possible shape for going on to move in whatever way that might be. So it might be a running race. It might be making your lunch and moving around the kitchen. It could be gardening, it could be golf, it could be whatever it is you're going on to do next. You're going to be moving well after this maintenance session. So taking your head side to side a couple more times, just mobilizing the neck from a nicely aligned position. That's the one. And relax, head looking back towards the ceiling. Okay, from here, I just want you to bring your attention into your shoulders and your shoulder blades. And you're going to gently contract your shoulder blades, or retract, I should say, your shoulder blades together and release them. So I'm just going to pull them together and release. And what I can feel as I do this, keep going, pull together and release, is that my shoulders feel, the front of my shoulders and release, feel like they're just gently opening back, pulling back, and opening up and release. And again, my goal here, as you gently retract and release, is to keep as much of the rest of the body absolutely still as you can. So our focus is getting even movement in our shoulder blades and equal response from our shoulders. And although these exercises might appear very, very subtle and simple, if our bodies have been working incorrectly, these fine adjustments are going to make a huge difference to how your body moves and feels. You may even feel and hear and sense some unlocking of areas that have been locked up for a little while. I'm going to do a couple more of these. Make that your last one. Big, deep abdominal breath, breathing in. Feel the belly button rise, breathing out, nice little contraction. Rest of the body is still. Let your breath spring back to its normal state and go back to those shoulder blade squeezes. Here we go. 20, 19. So I'm thinking about bringing them together and down without moving the rest of my body. And it's taking me a bit of brain to body concentration as I'm doing this today, because I really want to keep stationary still in the rest of my body, best as I can. Here we go. Last 8, release. 7, release. 6, release. 5, release. Brilliant. 4, release. 3, release. 2, release. And 1, release. And just check that when you're doing this, your shoulders aren't coming off the floor and they're not coming up to your ears. You're gently bringing them back and down. Fantastic. Okay, let's shift to our feet for a moment and just start to think. First, are they still hip width apart, or are they kissing one another? No, they're still good. They're still hip bone width. And you're going to take the right foot and start to circle it in the ankle joint. So I'm going to keep the rest of my leg on the chair, or as still as I can. And that movement is just coming from my ankle joint. And I'm taking the biggest circle I can. Nice big. And I really want to relax the belly. And the rest of my body is still. That's it. Change direction. Can you hear my clicky ankle? Can you hear your clicky ankle? Don't worry about that. So I'm not rushing these. What I am sensing in myself is I'm sort of holding my breath a little bit. So I really want to like melt into the ground as much as I can when I'm doing this. And I can really feel muscles burning on my shins and a little bit in my calf and under my foot. Point and flex. Now, forward, flipping the foot forwards and back in the ankle joint like you're flicking on a switch. Just focusing on the biggest movement you can make from the ankle joint only. You're doing really well. It's a lot. You can feel those muscles that perhaps haven't been working as much as maybe they used to. That full range of movement into your foot, and that's going to help your knee position, your hips, your walking, your movement, and all of the stuff that's on top of that area. And stop. Okay, give that leg a rest. Let's go to the other side. So I'm starting with a circle in the ankle joint. Notice, does this circle feel smoother, clunkier, easier? Any difference at all? Don't worry if there isn't a difference. Sometimes you just kind of get that feeling of, wow, this is really different on this side. That's the biggest circle you can make. Don't worry about the speed. Change direction. And I don't know about you, but often I'll kind of, if I'm going for a walk or I enjoy running, I kind of get achy underneath my feet sometimes. And when I practice these foot circle exercises just on their own and the point flexes, I really feel like I'm kind of manipulating the dough, like I'm making really soft, squidgy dough out of dried up old dough, which is my feet. Flipping the foot forwards and back. So think about that. You're getting that tightness, that dryness out of your movement, and you're flexing it, you're moving it, you're making it supple and really able to move well as you go forward into your day. So just checking that you've moved to that flipping forward and back, flicking on the switch, flipping off, and that you're still nice and relaxed in your face, your jaw, your belly, your shoulders. Nice. And make that your last one. Okay, let's grab that cushion now that we had and that we got ready for at the beginning of our session, and just pop it between your thighs without shuffling your bottom away from the chair. So we're still in this lovely static back position today. It's a great sequence, this, because it means that if at any point, it doesn't really work for you, the exercise doesn't work, then, you can just rest and relax in static back and get a huge amount of benefit from it. So if your cushion is thin, you might need to fold it over so it's thicker when you do this exercise. We want to have enough squidginess, enough thickness, so that when you press in against the cushion, your knees aren't touching one another. So there's a good bit of chunky cushion there as you press, something that's kind of almost pressing against you, and then release it. Okay, so adjust your cushion if you need to. We're going to do a couple of sets of these, so you've got time to fiddle with it and get it just right when you're ready to. We're on number 4. Release. Feet are relaxed, arms are out by your side, palms are facing up, head is looking up towards the ceiling. That's 7. Everywhere else is staying as still as you can. And we're on our first 10. We've done, so we're keeping going. For our first set of 20, that's 12. Press, release, 30. 40. Relaxed. 15. 16. Control the release. 17. 18. 19. 20. Remember that deep abdominal breath that we did at the beginning. So just lightly holding your block now. Big breath in. Feel everything expand and stretch. Breathing out, gently bring that little contraction into that skin around your belly button without moving anything else. Brilliant. Then let your breath spring back to what it does best, just natural breathing. And then off we go. Squeeze and release. Press and release. Press and release. Press and release. Now, as you're doing these last few on this second final set, I want you to notice who's the leader in those legs. Is one dominating the squeeze? Does one feel weaker than the other? And see if you can even out the way that feels as you press and release that cushion. So checking in. What's it feel like? Am I mindfully doing this? Am I aware of any differences? You might be aware that I've lost count. So we're going to do 3 more to finish because we've done loads. 2 and 1. Nice. Take off the cushion. Shuffle yourself away from your block or your chair, whatever it is you're using. We're going to use it again at the end. You're going to come into what we call, in this method, hook lying position. So I am lying like a hook. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm starting to put a little bit more neutrality into your pelvis. So I'm not flat like we were on static back. I'm not arched like we might be in a pelvic tilt and where we're going to go next. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. It feels like I could just about put my fingers underneath my back. There's a bit of space there. Okay, so if my feet were too far away, it would be tipping my hips forward. I want my feet on the ground, not so close that I'm trying to squeeze my back to the floor, nice and relaxed. A little bit of natural curve. Palms of your hands are up again towards the ceiling, arms out by your side. Okay, letting those shoulders settle back feels different to when I was in static back. And then I want you to start thinking about your bottom cheeks. So we're going to tense them and release them. Squeeze and release. And again, as you do this, thinking about not involving anything else. Everywhere else is staying as still as is possible. Stationary. Kind of makes it a little bit trickier. My instinct wants to move my hips forward and back. And I don't want to do that for the purpose of this exercise, which is to really reinvigorate and re-establish good movement, good glute function. So I'm squeezing and releasing. Tense and release. If you do feel your hips tipping forwards, just stop for a moment, get yourself settled again, and come back to it. Squeeze, release. Tense, release. It can be, as you keep going, that you're squeezing so hard, and that's why the rest of the body's trying to join in. So if that's you, go light. Squeeze, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. One more. So now we've got what we're doing right. We're going to think about how we do it. So, for example, I can feel a strange little switch in my glutes when I tense them. One seems to be just ahead of the other, and one seems a little bit sticky compared to the other one, which feels quite free and flowing. So the more we repeat this, the more even that glute squeeze is going to feel, and the stronger it's going to feel. So if you're a little bit all over the place, even thinking, is that even working? Is something happening? Just keep it going with me. So we're going to do 2 more sets of 20, and then we're moving on to our final 2 exercises. Okay, so we're nearly there. Arms out by your side, palms up. Here we go. 20, release. 19, 18, little ones, 17, 16, 15, relax the body, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, release, 7, release, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Big breath in. Breathing out, scrunch down around the belly button without moving anything else. Breathing out. Let your breath spring back. Last 20. Squeeze, release. Tense, release. Tense, release. Tense, release. Tense, release. Tense, release. Keep going. Slow them down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, let your body show you, 2, and 1. And what I mean by that is sometimes we have in our head an idea of how it's supposed to work. And maybe we've got so used to feeling our body moving in a certain way that perhaps isn't a great habit for us, that it can feel a little bit strange when we try to make it a good movement. So let's get out of our own way. Coming onto your hands and your knees to pop our back into a fully extended lower spine position before we jump back into static back. So I'm going to come onto all fours here. That's it. And I'm starting off with my knees directly underneath my hips. In fact, I want my knees to be about hip bone width apart. And a good way to measure this is to take one fist and make a half a fist like this. So one fist that way, one half. That's it. And then measure between your knees. Okay, brilliant. And that's kind of roughly your hip bone width apart position or space. My feet are having that space as well. My hands are directly underneath my shoulders just to begin with. The tops of my feet are on the floor. From here, walk your hand, your right hand, one hand's length forward. Then do the same with the other hand. And then shift your weight forward ever so slightly so that your shoulders are back over your elbows and your wrists again. If your hips are dropping down, you've taken too big a reach. So I'll come back, I've got my hands underneath my shoulders and elbows. I'm going to go one hand's length, second hand's length, slight shift forward. Now I'm going to drop my shoulder blades together. That feels good. My tailbone is going to go up to the ceiling. I've got this arch in my lower back. And then my head drops to the ground. I allow it to just hang there. Just looking at my watch because I want to make sure that we're here for about a minute. So what's happening here is we're just, again, asking the shoulders to move really evenly, even demand on shoulders and hips. Nice deep breaths. Some of you might feel it in the lower back, just like a big, big stretch. Always listen to your body. So if you feel like, do you know what, I've had enough there, I don't want to be there for a whole minute. Maybe you feel it. I'm feeling it a little bit in my wrists today. So big stretch into my wrists. Shoulder blades are sinking even more. And I'm finding those lovely deep breaths to help me through the minute. We are 7 seconds away, team. Nice straight elbows. And when you're ready to, big deep breath. If your body likes it and is comfortable to do, sit back towards your heels. If it doesn't like that, if your body's not happy with that or knees aren't happy with that, just start to make your way back into static back. And for those of you down here in child's pose with me, we're going to do that now, moving away from child's pose gently and back into your start position over your support, your block, your chair. And if you know someone who, often, we have friends, don't we, or we'll see someone and they'll say, oh, I've been to see the physiotherapist, I've been to see the doctor, or I need to improve my posture. And we say it and then we don't always do anything about it. point them in the direction of these videos, because half an hour of, and you know, there's so many to choose, so many recordings now that we've made here on the village hall, that there's something for every day if you want it. And often there's little tips in there for just a couple of exercises that you can do. Like this one, for example, if you've only got 10 minutes or 5 minutes, 2 minutes, pop yourself in one of these shapes. That's particularly this one that is good for you. So share the good stuff. Get your friends and family feeling good and well in their bodies. And if you've got time today to stay here for a little bit longer, then, you know, take a bit of time in static back, stay in here. We can switch off the link and you can stay there and relax for a little bit longer. But if not, you've got to move away and on to whatever's next. We've had a really good session there that has re-established the links between all of those great loading joints, the muscles that move those bones, and we'll have really given you back a chance to relax and have a really great start, a good opportunity to move into this afternoon and the rest of the day's movements and activities feeling good and balanced. So listen, that's all from me this morning. I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday for more realignment work. Until then, keep doing it, and I'll see you very soon. Thanks for your company. Bye.